How many days a week, ideally, would you like to be tattooing?
Honestly, currently, right now, I only tattoo 3 days. I am where I am because of years and years of hard work. I think it's probably a lot easier to get to that place today.
Yeah, it's all much easier now.
Yeah.
I think you can kind of compress what used to be like 5 years of learning the basics into maybe 2 years. I see people moving into, sort of building out a personal brand and a personal style much quicker than it seemed to happen for us.
The way things kind of transitioned for me, I did lots of conventions, lots of guest spots, meeting people, really focusing on my craft and the art and trying to push everything I was doing. Just I lived and breathed tattooing like 7 days a week. I tattooed every day. If I wasn't traveling to go somewhere to tattoo, I was tattooing. And I did that for a really long time. And I built a brand. I was literally working 7 days a week, tattooing 10 hours a day, and then going home and drawing all night, then drawing all morning, and having to draw like large scale pieces, like custom pieces, didn't have really anything to show for it.
Right.
But I guess, I was paying dues. But at that time I was like booked out like crazy.
For someone who's maybe say 1 to 3 years in their tattoo career, they're probably working at least 5 days a week, probably struggling big time with do all the tattoos they need to do, communicate with their clients, do all their home stuff, and make great drawings. I think is the next step from there. Like for me, it's when you see yourself get booked up to a certain amount. One of the things that I see happen all too often is that tattooers won't be watching for it and they'll be excited actually that they're in demand. They're looking forward to even saying that my books are closed. I can't take anymore, but they don't say that soon enough because they're going to have to wait 3, 6, 9 months, even a year to make changes to the way that their pricing works or the way that they're booking their time. Going back to my original question, getting booked out for the first time, my advice is 3 months tops. What is your advice?
I've always only booked 3 months. Like I could sit down and book out 2 years, but say I get sick for a week, 3 months is not that bad. Now, if I get sick, I can cancel some and just work a full normal week.
Right.
So it makes it a lot easier on me.
For me, it's like, I need that flexibility to travel. If an opportunity comes up or if I just feel overwhelmed, I love to be able to say, okay, 3.5 months from now, I can book a trip.